I just want to pull up a picture of Charlie. Lord God, I'm going to speak to about your servant, Charlie Kirk. Please give me the words to say everything I need to say. Amen. I've been doing a lot of that lately, a lot of praying lately. And I was talking to somebody, and they said, I couldn't do what you do, talking to me. Sitting there talk for an hour. And I talked about how I used to have a stutter and stuff like that. And he's like, he's like, I couldn't just sit there and talk stream of consciousness, which I do. You should see how minimal my notes are. And most of it is just pictures. And so I couldn't do that, he said. And so, but I look at Charlie Kirk and I say, I couldn't do what he did. God bless his soul, because he had a true gift of speaking and debating. Me, I'm just like lukewarm in terms of speech gifts. But this guy, he was brilliant. Now, last week during the show, obviously, we're in the News Worth Knowing, and the news broke that Charlie Kirk was shot. And I didn't want to delve into it at the time. Usually when something tragic like that happens, you don't have all the information until probably a week later. And even then, we still don't have all the information. So I didn't want to grab a hold of that story and start running with it, even though, just like everyone else on this planet, when they heard Charlie Kirk was shot, it's like, oh, some trans person probably shot him. And we were wrong. Turns out it was a crazy boyfriend of a crazy trans person that shot him. And whoops. But, we all knew what was up. We all knew who it was. My joke, I did this joke. It didn't really fly very well. I guess it's too racist. But the joke I did was that, I heard Charlie Kirk was shot. The first thing I thought was black guy. And then I heard there was a rifle that he shot. And it's like, oh, white guy. It was Charlie Kirk was the target. That means tranny. All right. And so this guy, like so many other people like myself who are conservative, or as I should start saying, are not brainwashed by the media and the academic class, of course, Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA videos would come up in my feed on YouTube and so forth, quite frequently in social media. And I love to see it. I love to watch it. And I love that, he's just killing their talking points left and right, just knocking them out, just boom, boom, boom. Everything they're saying. I'm not going to go into all the details of the things that Charlie Kirk has said, but there's a lot of people out there taking very, selective clips of stuff he said and trying to turn it into something bad or evil and stuff like that. And the reaction of liberals in my own social media circles, the reaction to his death is it is beyond disgusting. It is despicable. It is evil. And a lot of the praying I've been doing, of course, has been for the Kirk family, but a lot of it has been for our nation as a whole. It's hard to look at that picture. What they've done is shown that they are serious. They've been talking this rhetoric for a long time to kill Nazis like Charlie Kirk, kill Nazis like Ben Shapiro, which doesn't make any sense if you know anything, like Matt Walsh. They've been saying it on social media for years. They have been saying it all the time. They call us Nazis and they tell us you need to go out there and kill those Nazis. Politicians going out there and say we need to start fighting these evil Nazi conservatives. And they hang that label around us, and now everyone feels like they're a target. Everyone who is more conservative than Hillary fucking Clinton is a target. This is a political assassination, and pretending that it's not is, what's the word, duplicitous. It's a lie. These liberals are out there every day on social media, on places like Reddit and Blue Sky and stuff like that, celebrating a storm about the death of Charlie Kirk, and even throwing out more names of who else needs to die. They say that on social media all the time. But if I'm here on my YouTube channel and I say something like, "You better choke the tranny in your town before it shoots up a school near you," I'm the bad guy. because these transgender idiots are clearly mentally ill. And for some reason, the medical community says, no, they're fine. And now they've unleashed these weird socialist radicals everywhere in this country. And they think that they're being genocided by people like Charlie Kirk, of all people. Charlie Kirk, a man that I didn't watch a whole lot of his stuff because I do not have his patience. When these idiots come up there and start spewing their nonsense, I couldn't sit in that chair and care about them enough. He would sit there in that chair and care about them enough to try to help them, to try to give them a little truth. So they stop living this lie. He didn't graduate college or anything. And he's coming down there and he's debating college students. He's debating college professors. All right? And this is what I'm talking about with the liberalism and the Marxism that is shoved down these students' throats at these centers of higher learning. All right? They know Charlie Kirk is coming to campus, and so all those weather underground has-beens who are now running every single university in this country are cramming down this Marxist bullshit down these students' throats and forcing their little foot soldiers out there to debate Charlie Kirk. And don't tell me there hasn't been some college professor out there that just offhandedly says, I wish somebody would just shoot that guy. And there's maybe some guy in the classroom going, I suppose I could do that. Don't tell me that has never happened in the halls of academia. Leftist violence, political violence, is a majority of all political violence in the history of Earth. They're pretending that we're Nazis, that we're the violent ones. Charlie Kirk didn't want to stop anyone from being gay. He would talk to you about how you should stop being gay, how you should stop being trans. He would talk to you about that, but it's not like he would okay, you're not going to be trans. I'm going to go find a rooftop and take care of it for you. That is not who Charlie Kirk was. That is not who the right is. That's not how conservatives are. We are not the monsters that you actually are. Destroying this family. Destroying it. Those kids are tiny. The youngest probably won't even remember his father. And you have lit a fire under the Christians, most of all. And I think this is the most important aspect of this. Charlie Kirk was out there shooting down every single one of their major talking points of the liberal nonsense, bullshit, Marxist shit that they're constantly spewing. Shooting it down, boom, 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 every single point with facts and logic. And they couldn't stand it because he was converting people. They started looking at their lives. They started looking at the Bible. And believe me, this is like the biggest aspect of it for so many people, is the fact that Charlie Kirk talked about his faith openly, frequently, and told people that they should look into Christianity for themselves. You want to find some answers? There's plenty of answers in the Bible. You just got to go look for them. Go read it. Go read it and meditate upon it. Pray upon it. You'll find the answers you seek. Seek and ye shall find. That's in there. But the largest tool, the biggest, most important and silent tool of every Marxist, every communist, every socialist is atheism. And anyone who talks about religion, even on a YouTube channel such as this, people get turned off. Oh, he's talking about religion again. So they stop watching the video. They get turned off by it because they're godless heathens. And let me tell you something. There's a verse in the Bible, you cannot serve two masters. All right? And your master should be the Lord thy God. All right? But if you're like, I don't know, Joseph Stalin and an atheist, or you're Mao Zedong and an atheist, and it results in tens of millions of people dying because you don't believe in a God that will punish you. That's what happens. When you say that there is no God, then there's only one of two authorities. That is thyself. You, yourself, are the only God in the world. Or it is the state. And sooner or later, the state is going to tell you that they are the God, that you are not the God. All right? And that's the problem with communism. That's the problem with socialism. That's the problem with this Marxist shit. And they're trying to bring it and make it happen in this country. And every time you talk about an Ilhan Omar talking about socialism, or what's his name, Zoran Mandani talking about socialism, they don't care about socialism. They just want to bring down the great Satan. All right, Islam's a whole different story altogether. All right, and speaking of other stories this week, because I don't want this what's her name, Irina Zerkova? Forgive me if I got the name wrong from memory. But the day before, or that day I was talking about the story, or a couple days before, she was murdered on a train by a crazy junkie who'd been caught 14 times for violent crimes previous. And these two issues that happened over this past week, where the girl was murdered by a crazy junkie, we start talking about the mental health issue and the fact that the police aren't putting evil people in jail. That's a big factor in all these issues. So I'm still stuttering now. And then Charlie Kirk gets murdered, and now all of a sudden the biggest issues of this country are now front and center. Immigration is not as big an issue anymore. I don't know if you noticed. But now front and center, we got crazy criminals who have a severe record, who are out walking the streets murdering people. And you have mentally ill people, also known as trans, who are somehow not classified as mentally ill anymore, and they're allowed to buy guns. They're allowed to go out around like threatening to kill people on social media. But I'm the bad guy if I say you got to choke a tranny before it shoots up your school. I'm the bad guy. I should be canceled. It's a strange double standard. And these people who think that like socialism is going to work somewhere on this earth, you are dead fucking wrong. You can say what you want about what the FBI was doing in the 50s and so forth, like J. Edgar Hoover and like chasing down communists and so forth. You can even say like bad things about McCarthyism, where they're starting to check people's loyalty in Congress. I think Congress is more important than like, say, like an actor or something like go to Hollywood and say, it's more important that you're in Congress. So I think maybe a little bit of McCarthyism is in order to grill Ilhan Omar to find out exactly where her loyalties are, because it's not America. And so you can say what you want about that era, but there was a time when we took the threat of communism seriously. And I think it was after Korea and Vietnam, people were like, oh, communism ain't so bad. We don't need to go to war because of Vietnam is, screw that. I understand Vietnam. I understand America's involvement in Vietnam. I understand it more than World War I. Some guy's on the way to a party and some jackass shoots him and the whole world's got to go to war. What the fuck? What the hell? And like many people, I'm heartbroken. I'm concerned. I've been praying for the country, been praying for the Kirk family. And but you lit a fire under the Christians, under the white Christians. All right? I know that scares a lot of you. All right? But we know we're being hunted and targeted now. Those two incidents, Irina on the train and Charlie Kirk now, is that we are not safe. Both white people, by the way. We are not safe. We are being hunted. Whether you're Charlie Kirk and you have an opinion, or you're just some rando chick on a train who has never seemed to express any real political opinion whatsoever, we're all being targeted. Everybody's waking up. And that's why you start seeing all over the world all these rallies, all over the world. Rallies and vigils, prayer vigils for Charlie Kirk. And it's beautiful. It really is. And I was watching Gavin McInnes' show last night. He was in London when they did a march. You probably haven't heard about this on media because BBC's probably being quiet about this. But millions of people took to the streets, and I heard people chanting Christ is King in London. All right? Millions of people. Go look it up. Or maybe Gavin McInnes pulled off a big trick on me because he had a lot of video and pictures of tons of people in London saying, we're tired of it. We're very sick of it. And these people who are getting fired for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, They're whining and like the left's like, you're cancel culture. Fuck you. The gloves are off. You are trying to kill us. Well, here's a fun fact for you. I don't want to kill you. I just want to change your mind. Like Charlie Kirk. I didn't have the guts to do what he did. To stand there face to face with these idiots. I don't have the patience for it. Look how angry I'm getting right now. And if you come up and saying some nonsense to me, like recently I had an argument with somebody, like talking about this subject, and they're like, I said, I'm sick of your racist stuff. It's like, this is what he said about the civil rights movement. And it's like, yeah, the civil rights movement was a very bad thing for black people ultimately. Okay. Because now look at the black family. Before the civil rights movement, you had families, you had fathers in the homes. They were way less involved in crime. Your culture wasn't about crime. All right. You weren't drawing so much money off the government. You owned your own homes, owned your own property. Here we are so many years later after the civil rights movement, and you're all taking checks from the government. Fathers aren't in the home, and that just leads to more crime and poverty. And the Democrats did that to you on purpose. All right. You can say what you want about this stuff, but this person I was talking to, I said, I'm sick of your racist shit. And they're like, and what they said was, I can't be racist, I'm black. Unfriended. I don't like doing that. I really don't like doing that. But when you say something absurd like that, I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do with you. Oh, God. Because racism is thinking you're a racist superior. And when you think you're racist superior to racism because of the nature of your race, that's racism. You see what it's like, quadruple loop? It's like a quadruple negative. You know what I mean? It just sounds like socialism with extra steps. Anyway. All right. Rest well, good and faithful servant, Charlie Kirk. Praying for your family, praying for America, praying for Turning Point USA. Because they are unbound, what's that? Unbent, unbroken.